Can I tell you a secret? While everyone is obsessing over short form video, TikTok, Shorts, Reels, the smartest businesses are quietly doing something completely different and bringing in more clients with less effort. Meanwhile, short form videos just become the junk food of marketing. Feels good in the moment, gives you that quick dopamine hit of views and likes, but it leaves you hungry for actual business results. After helping hundreds of service businesses build real client generating systems, I can tell you with absolute certainty, the path to clients isn't paved with 60-second clips. It's something else entirely. In this video, I'm gonna show you why the promise of short-form video marketing is actually a dangerous illusion with actual hard proof from real creators, the hidden psychological reason behind why these quick clips are really just a trap designed to keep you busy, and what successful service businesses are doing instead that takes less time and consistently generates actual paying clients. But to understand how we got trapped in the short form content cycle, we need to look back about 5 years. So when COVID hit and we all got stuck at home, something crazy happened with how we consume content. Everyone was just at home scrolling on their phones all day, and suddenly TikTok exploded. It was the gold rush of short videos. Everyone, creators, businesses, my upstairs neighbor, unfortunately, they all jumped on these platforms trying to go viral. And honestly, those early results were addictive. Regular people were gaining followers and growing in a way that they never could have on Instagram. Brands were seeing millions of views without a lot of effort. It really felt like we'd finally found it. Quick and easy content that people actually wanted to watch. Then came the next wave of every other social platform racing to copy what TikTok had made so popular. Suddenly, every marketing guru started saying the same thing. Get on TikTok, make reels, post shorts. This is where all the attention is. And yeah, they weren't wrong about the attention part. But now that we're a few years out from that initial blast, we're finally seeing short videos for what they are. All those views aren't turning into actual business results for most service providers. I'm talking to business coaches, web designers, you name it, with hundreds of thousands of views who still can't fill their calendars. So obviously there is a huge disconnect between getting seen and getting hired. And if you want your marketing to actually work in 2025, you need to understand why this gap exists in the first place. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that short form video is completely useless. It's not. There are some genuinely good things about it. It's amazing for grabbing quick attention. It works across literally every social platform. And let's be real, shorts are pretty easy to make. You can film them on your phone from anywhere. But here's where the problems start. If you talk to anybody who knows anything about marketing on these platforms, they'll tell you that you need to post at least once every single day to get any real traction. And most of the real experts, they're saying 3 to 4 times a day is the sweet spot. Let that sink in for a second. 4 shorts every single day. Forever. That's 28 shorts a day, 120 a month. That's insane. And you know what? Even if you somehow manage to keep up that pace, there's absolutely no guarantee it's gonna bring you a single client. The average brand out there posts about 10 social posts per day across all their networks. Now that might be fine for big companies with dedicated social media teams, but for you, a service provider who's also trying to, actually serve clients, it's a recipe for burnout. But even if you push through, you still end up in the short form video hamster wheel, cranking out content day after day, getting those views and likes, and it's keeping you busy so you feel like you're actually accomplishing something. But there's a big difference between accomplishment and activity. So why isn't all this attention turning into actual business? Well, there are a couple reasons. First, there's this concept in marketing called the 7-11 rule. So that basically says that people need about 7 hours of exposure to you spread across about 11 different sessions before they feel like they know you enough to want to take the relationship any further. Think about that. 7 hours across 11 sessions. Now, think about a 30-second TikTok. How many of those would someone need to watch to reach that 7-hour mark? About 840 of your videos. 840. What are the odds that someone's gonna see 840 of your short videos? Basically 0, right? The algorithms just don't work that way. They're designed to show people a variety of content, not over 800 videos from the same creator. And even if they did see a bunch of your shorts, it's still happening in these tiny little snippets. That's not how real relationships form. It's not how trust is built. There's also the mindset problem. When people are scrolling through TikTok or Reels, they're in entertain me mode, right? They're not in I need to solve my problem mode. They're looking for that quick dopamine hit, and that's pretty much all. Okay, let me give you a perfect example of why attention on its own doesn't always equal sales. So there was this creator named Ari who had 2.6 million followers, which sounds pretty good, right? Problem is, she launched a clothing line and she couldn't even sell the 36 t-shirt minimum to keep her manufacturing going. Not 36,000, 36 shirts with 2.6 million followers. Couldn't do it. And that's because her followers weren't actually invested in her. They might have enjoyed her videos for a couple seconds when they scrolled past it, but they didn't have enough of a real connection to want to buy from her. And at the end of the day, isn't that what marketing is supposed to do? Shorts create this impossible situation where you're working harder than ever on your marketing while seeing fewer actual business results. Think about what your life actually looks like when you commit to that strategy. Your days become consumed with constantly scanning for trends to stay relevant, brainstorming on how to turn all your knowledge into 30-second clips, checking your stats obsessively to see what's working and what isn't, and feeling the pressure to post again before your last video stops getting views. It's exhausting because there's no finish line in sight. The moment you slow down or you take a break, your visibility just goes down a cliff. You become a content creating machine instead of a service provider. I have watched so many talented professionals burn out this way. A wedding photographer student of mine spent 2 to 3 hours every single day making these reels for 6 months straight. Her views were solid, her follower count grew, but her actual bookings ended up dropping because she was spending less time on customer outreach and portfolio development. The things that actually got her paying customers before. The algorithms created this perfect trap where you feel like you're just one viral video away from success, so you keep pushing, you keep creating. But the reality is, for service businesses, this approach is just fundamentally flawed. So if short form video is such a trap, what's the alternative? What are those smart service businesses doing instead? The answer might surprise you because it's actually much simpler and requires way less content creation. Long form video. But Wes, doesn't long form video take more time, not less? Here's the truth. Making one simple 10-minute talking head video every week takes way less time and energy than planning and creating 20 different shorts. And more importantly, it's just way more effective at actually bringing in paying customers. See, when someone spends 10 minutes at a time with you, something magical happens. They start to feel like they actually know you a little bit. They get a sense of your personality, your approach, and your expertise. Now compare that to someone who watched 3 of your 30-second clips. Which person do you think is more likely to become a paying customer? It's not even close. But the advantages go way beyond just the length here. The real power of long-form content comes from how people find and consume it. Short form is all about the scroll. People mindlessly swiping until something catches their attention for a couple seconds. But long form, especially on YouTube, is about search. People actively looking for solutions to specific problems. So which person would you rather have watching your videos? And let me let you in on a little secret about YouTube that most service providers don't get. It's not actually about going viral. It's not about massive view counts or getting tons of subs. It is just about connecting with the right people. And YouTube's actually had a pretty big algorithm change this year to help you do that. I don't know if you checked your YouTube homepage lately, but they've started showing videos from smaller creators right alongside the big names. And they're doing this because they've gotten really good at figuring out exactly what kind of content each person wants to watch. And this is huge for service businesses. It means that YouTube will try to show your videos to the exact people who are interested in what you do, even if you're just starting out. But here's another reason why this approach is actually easier. You don't need to be constantly shifting your strategy. With short form, you're always chasing the latest sound, the latest transition, the latest trend. And short form algorithms are pretty time-based, meaning they prioritize new content. So they may show your video you made today for the next week if you're lucky, then it fizzles out. With long form though, you can focus on creating genuinely helpful content that stays relevant for years. That lets you stack up videos that show people you really know your stuff, building your reputation over time instead of vanishing after a week. In fact, some of my most successful videos were recorded over 3 years ago, and they're still bringing in new students to my paid courses every month. Every video I make is basically another soldier in my sales army fighting that good fight day after day for years. Now, does all this mean you should completely abandon shorts? Not necessarily. There's actually a pretty smart way to incorporate them into your strategy without falling into the trap. Here's how I recommend actually using shorts. First, they're amazing for on-camera practice when you're new. So if you're at all nervous about being on video, and let's be honest, most of us are when we start, creating quick 30 to 60-second videos is a really nice low-pressure way to get comfortable talking to the camera. I actually have my students in my YouTube to Clients Academy course record 5 shorts every day for a week just to get more comfortable talking to a camera. It's not about the videos themselves, it's about building their confidence. Second, once you've created your main long-form content, you can repurpose it into shorts. So you can use AI tools like Opus Clip to analyze all your videos, and it's gonna pull the short clips out of it that should make sense and stand on their own. This gives you content for both formats without doubling your workload. The key difference here is in the purpose. So you're not using shorts as your primary strategy to get paying customers. You're using them as supplementary content to drive people to your longer videos where that real relationship building happens. But of course, you can't just make any long videos and hope that they work, But the good news is there is hard data put out by YouTube themselves that shows exactly what your ideal clients want out of your videos. And I've put together all those gold nuggets into this video right here, because if you know what'll keep them interested in watching, that means they'll watch another and another, creating that binge session that leads directly from YouTube back to your business where they can become a paying client. So click right here and I'm gonna lay it all out.